Hey guys, it is late January in Joplin, Missouri. It is cold, but my mind is already on baseball. So we're going to talk about a former baseball player who actually set a record that was matched by one other man, but he was the first person to ever set this record. So let's get going. Charles Everett Street played in the majors for 7 seasons as a catcher with the Cincinnati Reds, Boston Braves, New York Highlanders, St. Louis Cardinals, and the Washington Senators. It was his battery mate, Walter Johnson, who gave him the nickname Gabby because he would sit behind the home plate and would just talk to the batter and get into their heads. In 1931, while managing the Cardinals to winning the World Series, he caught 3 innings on September 20th at age 48, 19 years after his last big league game. A record at the time for seasons between appearances, but this isn't the record we're going to talk about. Decades after his death in 1951, he also appeared as a character in a 1992 episode of The Simpsons. Alright, I'm going to pause right here and hit you with the big ask. If you would, I ask that you please take a moment, like, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It really does mean a lot to me. It means a lot to the YouTube algorithm on when these videos will show up and where they'll show up. So I appreciate your help with those things if you could take care of that, and then we'll get started again. Gabby's claim to fame doesn't come on a baseball diamond, but it does come by catching baseballs. On August 21st, 1908, when journalist Preston Gibson and Senators fan John Biddle went to the observation deck of the Washington Monument and began dropping balls to settle a bet. The balls plummeted more than 500 feet to where Street, who had removed his suit jacket, was standing with his catcher's mitt. At first, a chute had been attached to the window of the observation deck, but it didn't send the balls out far enough to avoid hitting the monument's base. So Gibson began tossing the balls farther out himself. The first baseball Gibson tossed hit the heel of Street's mitt, but fell to the ground. Street missed the next 11, but caught lucky number 13. The last ball Gibson and Biddle had with them. Street won the $500 bet for Gibson by making the catch that had been attempted numerous times, but never before accomplished. In a widely reported attempt 14 years prior, Chicago Colts pitcher Clark Griffith tossed 2 balls from the top of the monument to his catcher, Bill Shriver. The first went over Shriver's head, and the next day newspapers reported that he had caught the second, although years later Griffith admitted that the second catch was also missed. Unlike the 1894 attempt, reporters, photographers, and fans were on hand. Street said years later that he should have caught that first ball. Had my mitt on it, dropped it. I knew then that it could be done, but the winds bothered me until I finally snagged the 13th toss. When Street looked up at the top of the monument, he got dizzy. Signals had been arranged to let Street know when the balls were tossed. Street was told to keep his head down until the ball was probably about 50 feet away. With Street's experience with top-ups, he was able to locate it quickly. Different newspaper accounts of the day estimated the force of the ball between 200 and 300 pounds when it hit Street's mitt less than 5 seconds after being dropped from the top of the monument. According to the Washington newspaper, the gathered crowd said the ball hitting Street's mitt sounded like a rifle shot. Gabby was quoted as saying, "The ball I caught hit my mitt with terrific force, much greater than any pitched ball I have ever caught." Street told the reporters, "Though my mitt is 3 to 4 inches thick, the force of the ball numbed my hand." Any pain Street felt must not have been lasted that long, because later that day, Street caught Johnson's 5-hit 3-1 win over the Tigers. 2 years later, on August 24th, 1910, Billy Sullivan of the White Sox, the American League's premier defensive catcher, caught 3 baseballs thrown by pitcher Ed Walsh from the top of the monument, topping Street's effort. Once Street and Sullivan proved it could be done, no other publicized or legally sanctioned attempts were ever made to catch balls thrown from the top of the monument. Street retired in 1912 and spent some time with the Army. He saw combat in France, sustained a bullet wound, and received a Purple Heart. Back in the States, he began managing and was hired as a skipper of the St. Louis Cardinals in 1929. He led them to a National League pennant in 30 and 31. In the World Series, the Cards lost to the Philadelphia Athletics in 1930, but beat them in 1931. After his managing days, Street, who made his home in Joplin, Missouri, became a radio broadcaster. He helped young Harry Caray begin his Hall of Fame broadcasting career. Charles E. Gabby Street, September 30th, 1882, till February 6th, 1951. Right next to him is his wife, Lucinda Street, September 10th, 1900, to August 15th, 1985. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed the material in this video. Like I said, it's not really baseball season right now by any stretch of the imagination. It is so cold out here today. But really, really good information. I thought something cool right here in the middle of Joplin, Missouri. Something to share. Again, if you enjoy this kind of content and want to see more, please take a minute and click that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Got a couple other videos I'm working on now, so I should have some more coming out pretty quick. So stay tuned. Those should be headed your way. Until then, thank you so much for watching.